Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of Disney. Actually, Disney adjacent. This video is Disney adjacent. We've got the creator of Gundam calling Disney boring.
I'm not wrong.
He's not wrong. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the anime industry and some of the concerns he has about it. And yeah, so this is pretty interesting. It's making the rounds on social media. People are like, oh my God, how dare the creator of Gundam say Disney's boring? Because it is. How very dare he? Who does this guy think he is? Who does this guy think he is? He only created one of the most popular anime franchises of all time. How dare he tell Disney what to do?
Clearly a MAGA hat-wearing Trump supporter.
Clearly a MAGA hat-wearing Trump supporter. That bigot. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to shopclownfish.com if you're looking to secure a copy of Crimson Wren or previously on Clownfish TV graphic novels. They are in stock. They're ready to ship. They'll ship within a couple days of you buying them, so you don't have to wait on a crowdfunder. These were already crowdfunded, and we have some copies left. So if you want one, grab one. You've got 23 days. 23 days. Then we're going to close it up again. Thank you very much for the support.
Yes.
All right, so this is coming from Mr. Milo on piratesandprincesses.net, and then we're going to go out to Fandom Wire. There's a bunch of reactions to it here. Mobile Suit Gundam creator calls Disney boring. And yeah, this is Yoshi. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Yoshiyuki Tomino did an interview with the Japanese publication Toyo Keizai, commenting on his career in the industry, now the recent Japanese anime boom, and how he believes this boom may only last another 5 to 6 years. During the interview, he had a few surprising comments about the Walt Disney Company. He began expressing his worry about Bandai Namco's FilmWorks push for digitalization. We'll talk about that because that is happening because they have to make this stuff cheaper, you know, and it's definitely
They're trying to get out faster.
Trying to get it out faster, and it's one concern I have about anime. Like, you look at a lot of the newer series, and they look too polished, they look too fakey compared to the hand-drawn stuff, but that's another tangent. He's worried that they may repeat the same mistakes as Disney when they switch to an all-digital system.
Yeah, some of the words may not translate well in translation because it's an air-conditioned, and I don't think that's what he means.
Yeah. This magnificent building, the new Bandai Namco office, has been completely digitalized.
Oh, no, he means air-conditioned.
And over-air-conditioned. Okay, so basically, back in the day, they used to have the animators crammed into tiny quarters. It's usually hot. They would have fans running. So
really, you got to keep those computers cool. Let's be honest. It's not about the people.
It's not about the people. It's about the computers.
Most likely. I mean, I don't know that.
Your
but I'm not a betting person.
Your render farms. You have to keep them going. It's the same thing as the boring works produced by Disney's digital production system today. A creative person must have a crazy side, spiritual, earthy, and indie-like. If you can create an indigenous piece of art in a space with fully controlled air conditioning, I think you should do it.
I'm really obsessed with air conditioning.
I think he's kind of lamenting, like, in his day, I'm sure he was working in like sweatshop conditions, you know, because I've seen how animators were treated in Japan, especially back in the day. It was like, I mean, it's not much better now. They're not paid terribly well, but you always see these photos of these guys and girls, and there were women working in the industry in Japan, but they were hunched over. It was hotter than hell, and they're hunched over their art boards, and there was like 50 of them crammed into some tiny room. Like, I'm a big Rankin Bass fan, and they were like working on those specials in Japan in July, and they were like, you could tell they were sweating like pigs, and they're sitting here playing with the little elves in the Christmas snow, you know. So it's kind of weird, you know. But yeah, I think he's like, hey, we've gone soft. And nothing is going to stand out anymore if everybody's doing the same kind of stuff. But even Japan is outsourcing their animation to other countries now.
Are they?
Yeah, they're sending it to like India and France. And but here's some of the reactions, and we'll talk about this. Some of the reactions on Fandom Wire. So if you go out to Fandom Wire, they have more of the quote here. It says, after switching from hand-drawn animation to digital, many of Disney's works became disappointing. But that's rather how they end up being reproduced. Probably because they're digital. It's like other people like DreamWorks and Illumination have stepped in, and they've been able to do it. And they swap staff too. But I mean, this happened back in the 80s. You had people, you know, jump from, you know, Disney to Don Bluth, and
Yes, but I mean, they're basically the point he's trying to make is Disney has gotten formulaic and boring, and it's true.
Yep.
Disney has gotten formulaic. That's why everybody complains about Wish. A couple things about the Wish movie. The big 100th anniversary movie. 100th anniversary celebrating Disney animation, right? Disney animation, which was like considered like one of the jewels of the animation industry. No, this one people are complaining because the animation doesn't look finished. It looks rushed, and it's the whole story is formulaic and boring.
Yeah, and he says he's worried that anime is going to go in that route too. And I have to.
Me too. I am worried too.
I have to agree. Like, again, you look at the newer anime series. A lot of them, with the exception of like Demon Slayer, don't have a unique style. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch the old stuff on Retro Crush, you can tell exactly like what time period it was made.
Well, that's just it. But that's the thing. Okay, but there you have it. They don't have a unique style either because it's all you can tell what era it was done in, but it doesn't. They don't have their own unique style. I would argue that's not true. Just like now, they all look the same because it's by the era. So 10 years from now, you'll be like, oh, that was done in this time frame because it all looks the same. They did the same thing before, like with the ones from the 80s or whatever. All look the same. I mean, so technically, I would argue with that.
Well, it depends, but it seemed like the artist, the manga artist, had a more distinctive style. Like you could tell one artist from another. And like I said, other than Demon Slayer, where you look at a frame of Demon Slayer or One Piece, it's really hard to tell these anime apart. Like you show me a screen capture.
One Piece, I would say, definitely has its own look.
Oh yeah. And they had a lot of the same people working on a lot of the same shows too.
But by era, I would argue that always happens.
So Culture Crave put this out. Here's some of the reactions. He's probably right. I hope anime doesn't go that route. But all good things come to an end. Kami Anime S said, agree, this is where Disney is at.
The Little Mermaid, the song.
Scuttlebutt. Oh, my God. No Blue Naga. Agree on Disney, but anime has been great this year. There's people are saying there's some good stuff there. It's a new trend for artists to bash Disney to get their interviews in the press. He's the guy who created Gundam. He created Gundam. He doesn't need.
Hurry up, protect Disney.
Protect Disney. He's 82 years old. He created Gundam. Like they've got life-size Gundam statues in Japan.
He doesn't need Disney to get in the press.
He doesn't need Disney to. God. Now, it's interesting, though, because, we talk about 2D animation. We were going to do a video on this, and it didn't really warrant its own video, that The Boy and the Heron is breaking all kinds of records. It's interesting because they're kind of walking it back because Ghibli tried doing 3D. And it did not do well. It did not do well. And I don't know why they thought they should do 3D, but they did that one. I don't even remember the name of it. Something Witch or whatever. I don't know. I didn't even watch it. I'm like, it looks like knockoff Ghibli. It looked like Coco Melon or something. But so they're back to form now. And I think people want this. And I think what's going to happen is we're going to kind of cycle where people are going to have a lot of the same. And the reason that like Godzilla's doing so well, and there's so many other movies this year, Oppenheimer and Barbie that were doing well compared to Disney movies, is they have gotten boring. They have gotten stale. It is formulaic. People want something different. If everything looks the same, when you do something that's different, that stands out, it stands out and people tend to pick it up, right? I mean, especially if it's good. And it kind of reminds me of comics, too, where you had a lot of artists for the longest time drawing in the same fashion. Then in the 90s, you had guys like Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane who were doing a different style. And people were like, yeah, I've been seeing the same thing for years.
You know what was funny to me, though? We were looking for having the agent and having our books picked up. It was hilarious to me because at the time, all the books being printed were done in the same type style. Like they were all looked like Nimona and Tumblr art, right? And then your stuff was like very much different from what everybody else, what they were picking up. And they're like, well, your stuff looks like everything else. And it's not unique enough. And I was like, you keep literally carbon copying all these artists that draw the exact same damn way.
Yeah.
It was like Cal Art's knockoff. And you're carbon copying this shit. And then you say to us, it looks like everything else. But it didn't.
No.
And it always stuck with me. I know that's unrelated, but related. It's just something I wanted to get out because it pissed me off. Anyway,
so I think he's right. And I think anime, as the appetite for anime grows, I think that studios are going to take shortcuts to get more stuff out there faster. And I mean, listen to guys. I mean, look, this guy knows his stuff.
Just some artist who wants his interview picked up.
He just wants to hitch his wagon to Disney's star. Maybe he'll have a career in art someday.
Maybe, yeah.
If he just dunks on
Disney
Disney
to get some attention for himself.
Yeah, right. God, people are dumb. God, people are dumb. All right, we got to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.